Hello, Virgo. Welcome to the second part of your reading. First, one, because I know you've been waiting, and two, because this time around we realize that William Blake doesn't understand the beginning until he's seen the end. And in much the same way, Virgo revisits that which you may have thought was lost, especially if it's with another earth sign. Also here coming up as a very, very strong air sign issue as well. But let's go, first off, from the Three of Cups to the Knight of Swords. There is a revisiting, and you have been feeling this for the past 2 weeks, of what makes you tick and what is not healthy that you do indulge in. That Three of Cups, I feel, is you. It's the things that you have been doing that you know are not good for you. Conversely, this could be someone that you're dealing with that no matter how many chances you give them, all they show you is their toxic side, especially if it's an air sign. You've had the information for the past couple of weeks to end anything that really needed resolving for a long time, but I'm not sure that having the energy is enough for Virgo. You need the energy, but you also need the right motivation. And I don't think that you were given the right motivation for the past few weeks. I think now, and especially on the 26th and the 27th, it becomes really clear to you which relationships are just too emotional and sad for you. And sometimes that's got to be enough. That is the explanation. You know, a lot of times now, the age we live in, you're not allowed to say, your emotions are too much for me, your moods are too much for me, your extreme behavior, your extreme feelings are too much for me. But you are within your rights to say so. It's not a bad thing to know your limits. It's not a bad thing to want the best for everyone, but also want the best for yourself, which brings me to the Ten of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Lovers. Boy, oh boy. There is such a different life that is waiting for you, and it is so very exciting. And I think a lot of you have already started to feel this energy yesterday. But this energy is a lot like watching Dead Men and then watching it again. The first time you watch it, it seems crazy that you could ever want him to be anything, other than an accountant. You feel sorry for him when he's thrust into this world of vigilante, killing and running from the law and running from headhunters and running. It's not what you want for him, but when you watch it again, you realize that what happens to him gives him ultimate purpose and gives him, it makes his life meaningful. And so, in much the same way, what may have seemed like things falling down around you, now, between now and the first week of December, begin to make a lot of sense. Like, oh, it needed to happen this way to give me the purpose that I have been looking for. To get out of feeling as stuck as I did. For some of you, this means going back to a Gemini. For some of you, it means having to clear up something in the past with an air sign so you can make forward progress with somebody new. For a lot of Virgos, this is the fruition of a long wanted relationship, someone they really, really wanted for a while, but for one reason or another could not have. And now suddenly that person is available again emotionally to them. But I need you to be really careful, Virgo, because a lot of times I've noticed with you, the astrology will be like, yes, it seems great. Yes, you should go for it. And then a couple of weeks later, it's the exact opposite. Like, oh, no, actually, that person played you. And it's like, wait, what? And I know you know what I mean. It's just, you guys are very mercurial. That's just what it is. So, although I know you feel right now like whatever you're doing, whether it's a love situation or a work situation, I know you're just going ham on it. And I want you to, and I'm happy that you are, and I'm happy that you feel good doing that. But also I think it's really important to remember that a lot of times when Virgo thinks they're on a sure thing is when they're actually on very unsteady ground. And usually when they're on very, very steady ground is where they find it hard to commit, hard to, hard to give in, hard to let go. It's usually the opposite. So when things are very tempestuous and tumultuous, you'll find Virgos will be like, okay, I'll abandon all care and go with this. And then when things are really stable and seem like a sure thing, they'll be like, I don't know, I'm not sure. So of course you could not be your own worst enemy and realize that. And when the good option comes your way, you take care of that and you nurture it and you choose that. You choose it from your heart, not just with your mind. What's that, said the Virgo. Right there. If you right now, Virgo, drag your feet about a romantic relationship where someone is expecting something from you, I think it's really going to hurt you later. But also, if you are moving ahead with something that you do not want to do and you feel like you're being coerced and pressured into it, that's also going to come back in a big way. In just a few weeks, the pain of that will start to show. So the best thing that you could do for the people around you right now is to be authentically yourself. When he's sitting on the train and that guy's asking him all those questions, Blake has a choice. He's sitting there surrounded by a bunch of terrifying looking frontiersmen, all with guns, in a place he's never been, in a culture he doesn't understand. And yet he stands true to his, delicate nature. He's an accountant from Cleveland. And, he has a job and he's going to do his job. And it's just the most Virgo thing ever. And this beautiful, delicately dressed, beautiful man, soft-spoken, intelligent, well-educated, in the midst of just open barbarism, and yet he stays true to who he is throughout. It's a beautiful thing. I will forever not understand anyone who doesn't love getting Dead Man as the costume. I mean, it's the best costume there is. Anyway, have a look. I love you guys. I'll see you in the extended in just a minute. Bye.
Look out the window. And doesn't it remind you of when you were in the boat? And then later that night you were lying, looking up at the ceiling, and the water in your head was not dissimilar from the landscape. And you think to yourself, why is it that the landscape is moving, but the boat is still? And also, where is it that you're from?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Lake Erie.
Erie. Do you have any parents back in Erie?
They passed on recently.
And, do you have a wife? Erie.
No.
Fiance. She found herself somebody else.
No.
Yes, she did. Well, that doesn't explain why you've come all the way out here. All the way out here to hell.
I have a job out in the town of Machine.
Machine. That's the end of the line.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I received a letter from people at Dickinson's Metalworks assuring me of a job.
Is that so?
Yes, I'm an accountant.
I wouldn't know because I don't read. But I'll tell you one thing for sure. I wouldn't trust no words written down in no piece of paper, especially from no Dickinson out in the town of Machine. You're just as likely to find your own grave.
Look, we're shooting buffalo. The government says killed 1 million of them last year alone.